What's up, Gordon Gang? I'm back with another video. Today I have my sister here with me because this is a dealing with deployment video, and my sister is dating somebody in the military, and he just got back from his first deployment, their first deployment as a couple. So we're gonna just, I guess, share both experiences of like the boyfriend-girlfriend side of it, and it just finished. And then the husband-wife side of it, and he's been back for like a year and a half.
Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again.
Hi. He said, "What's up, Gordon Gang?"
So, backstory, we were together for like 5 years, and then we had already done long distance majority of our relationship because I was in college and he was still like figuring out what he wanted to do. And 2 years ago, he joined the military, and then once he was done with basic and AIT, he went to his duty station, and he was probably there for like 6 months. And then August and left in March. So yeah, something like 6 months. Found out he was deploying, and then he left in June, 2 weeks after I graduated college. So it was just kind of like a weird time for the both of us. When he first left, he was separate from his unit, and it was like him, like 5 other guys, like living in this mansion in this beautiful country on the water. And he wore civilians to work. He went out and was eating good food, going to bars and everything, just having like a good time. And he called me every day. It would just felt like the same way it did when I was in college. Like, we were just long distance on the phone. He was running 6 hours ahead, so it wasn't that big of a time difference. And then maybe like 2 months in, he had to go to another country. But at this country, he was actually working. He was in the barracks, like 5 of the men. He didn't really have any privacy or space. And they would all go out as a unit often. And they would have to work on weekends, and it was just a lot different than what we had already grown accustomed to for his deployment, and my expectations were already kind of set to, okay, you can call me every day, so you're gonna call me every day. Problem number one. We kind of already had expectations before he left, what's gonna happen, and then once he got there and we realized our expectations weren't being met, we should have like discussed it. Like, I know I said I'd call you every day, but I can't, so this is what's really gonna happen. And if you discuss it and you like your expectations, you won't be disappointed by that.
Yeah. And I would say not to have such great expectations, or to be open to the fact that your expectations may not be met. Mm-hmm. Because you can plan all day, all night. You can say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. And then they're just not allotted the time for it. So it's just, you have to be flexible, because it's just not realistic to set these high expectations. Like, he's never experienced a deployment before. We've never experienced it together. So it's not realistic to expect, like, every day when you go to bed, you need to call me. Because he's not home every day. He's not in the bed at the same time. He's not even in the same country every day. And he doesn't know, he also doesn't always know in advance, like, tomorrow we're going on patrol to a different country. Sometimes they don't know till the day of. Yeah. So don't like take the time to get in your feelings like, oh, he didn't call me. He really didn't have like the opportunity.
Right. And that might make sense to most people, but like I said, we were together for 5 years, so it was just kind of like we talk every day, all day, and all of a sudden we don't. So to me, it was just like a weird adjustment. Like, it was just so completely polar opposite of how our relationship functioned, because we were already long distance.
Because they're going through like
life changes.
Yeah. Life changes, and it's like your world is just flipped upside down. You're in a different country. People don't like you just because you're military, just because you came from America, just because a lot of stuff, like, there's a lot going on with them that can bring up other stuff in their past. So they're going through a lot. For me, I would not advise that if you're going through something as well to like throw all that on them. Yeah. Because they're having a hard enough time trying to figure out what's going on with them before they can try to figure out what's going on with you. So while they're gone, you gotta have some type of an outlet. Like, you gotta...
And because it's not their fault that they're not there and that they can't help you.
And there's not a lot they can do about... Definitely effort can be made on their part. It's not to say that they can just go over there and forget about you, because that's not it. But it is a huge adjustment, and you gotta be flexible and willing to adjust and be a little more forgiving, because they can't control what's going on with them. Literally sign their life over, so they don't control any of that. Somebody else does.
Right.
So you gotta be flexible, you gotta be forgiving, you gotta be open to the change. And honestly, if you're not open to change, military life is probably not for you. You're not paying attention to me. All this stuff is going on with me. Your stuff kind of like, you gotta have your outlet. And even if it's something that needs to be discussed with your partner, it's one of those things that it's just gonna have to wait. It really is. Because I don't
Which
want
is hard to grasp, because it's not fair.
It's not fair.
But nothing about the military is fair when
And
it comes to the family. And I say that close because, like I said, we're not married. And that's why it's a little bit different for, like, just a girlfriend, because you're, like, making the decision to hold somebody down when I don't really have to. Like, we're not married, we're not engaged, we're in the military's eyes, I'm nothing. Like,
right.
So they don't really care. Like, my thing is, it kind of bothers me, like, what if something happened to me or while he's gone? He can't come home.
Right.
I'm just a girlfriend, like, so.
Or even vice versa. If something happens to him,
they're not gonna call me.
You.
Yeah. So that was kind of a hard thing to adjust too. Like, I'm already about to do this for 9 months. We're not even my husband, or all this stuff is going on, or it gets really, really hard, and it's like, why am I doing this? We're not even married. Like, I don't have to do this. I'm choosing to do this. And sometimes it's like, do I really still want to choose to deal with this?
Yeah. And it's not any easier, like, being married. It's not any easier, because some days you're just like, what the hell did I get myself into? Is this really... Because it's not like, with me and my husband, it's not like I thought about, like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. I'm ready for military life. That's not how it is at all. I fell in love with this person, and he just so happens to be in the military. I wasn't thinking about, like, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to move every 3 years. I want to be away from my family. You don't think about that kind of stuff. It's just, this is who I love, and it just so happens that that's his job. If you're going to do this life, you have to learn to be really selfless.
And
flexible, and you have to be willing to sacrifice, because it's not something you have a choice about. And it is going to be difficult. Like, I don't know anybody who's gone through a deployment. I have a lot of, like, military spouse friends now, and I don't know anybody who's gone through a deployment and was like, yeah, that was a piece of cake. Like, it's gonna be hard. It is gonna be hard. It's difficult. But you have to be okay with that and not sacrifice your relationship because something hurts your feelings, or because it's not what you thought it was going to be. Because I guarantee you it's not what he thought it was going to be either.
But you do have to decipher what's the military and what's them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, you still can communicate. It may not be as much as you're used to. It's not going to be all the time. It's not even going to be the same. 1 week you can communicate every day, and 1 week I might not hear from you because you're changing to a different country. However, it's still up to your partner to decide what's priority, and as soon as you can get to me,
right,
you should. Like, it's not,
just
don't give them too many excuses like, oh,
yeah,
you're
like,
deployed so you can do whatever you want. No,
right.
You're still in a relationship, and if I'm holding you down on this side, you're still my partner. We're still a team when you're 50 million miles away. So you got to carry your weight. Like, you don't get to just...
It's like, yeah, the relationship might come secondary to the mission, but it still comes.
But it
like,
still
it's
comes.
still on the list, yeah. But also, I made the mistake of, like, okay, whenever he calls, like, I'll have to make time. Don't do that either, because you have to adjust to life with them without them being there, and you still have to, like,
live your life.
Yeah, you can't revolve around whenever they call, like, fine. It's like, no, like, I still have stuff to do. I still have to go to work. I can't take a break every time you call. Luckily my job is a joke. So.
But even then, that's not even just a boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah, like,
because we're married, but like, I can't put my 2-year-old's tantrum on pause so that I can answer the phone for you. You know what I mean? Like, life is still going on, and it goes both ways. Like, we have to be understanding, but you have to be understanding too. I'm not sitting in the living room for 9 months until you get back.
Right. Yeah.
And don't overthink it. Don't think about what's going on over there. Don't think about.
Get you a hobby.
Get you a hobby. Find you something to do. Find you something to do. Go back to school. Get that body snatch before he get back.
Ooh.
Do like.
I try.
Get with your friends. Go drink y'all wine on Friday nights. Like, get you a life. Get you a life, sis. Because thinking about what he's doing will drive you crazy. Like, get you a life, sis. Get you a whole life. Live your best life.
Get you some business.
Get you some business. Don't be out here wilding and stuff if you're married. If you're married.
If you're not, there you go.
But get you some business.
Yeah.
Get you some business. Yeah, so that's it.
I hope this helps.
Even if it said it,
Even if it didn't. Shout it to the game. Do not let the deployment be your whole life.
Don't let anything outside of you be your whole life.
Facts.
You still you. You still gotta live your life. Do you, boo boo. You gotta do you. It is what it is. They're not the center of the earth.
Yeah, but you're not there anymore.
Oh my god.
Ooh, the shade, don't you say?
She ain't came out on the other side of their
still in
deployment
the job,
yet.
still in it.
We gonna work that out.
Part 2 coming soon.
I'll see y'all next time. Peace, Gordon gang.
We out this thing. And...
Every time we say goodbye, I wish we had one more kiss.